Hi, I'm Peter Haddock. I'm here today at the Lynch Training Centre and I've met Shelby. And Shelby, I've persuaded you to talk to me today. You're a regional operator manager for HS2 and you're here today yourself to actually have a go on the equipment that the operators use and to understand more about how that works, how difficult it is to be an operator.
Exactly.
I know myself, folks. But I thought your job's a really interesting one. And I just wanted to talk to you about, first of all, why did you come into the plant sector? How did you find yourself here?
I just stumbled upon it, to be honest. My manager, Tessa Lee Allen Ridge, she called me up and she'd seen my profile online and she thought I'd be a fit for the role. And she explained a little bit of what the company did, and she said, oh, it's plant hire. So I went away actually thinking I was going to start at a nursery, like plants, trees, that sort of stuff. Absolutely. So I was, until I went on the website and did my research, I was like, this is way more interesting than plants and trees. So came in for an interview, ended up being like a 4-hour interview because I just found it so fascinating, and met quite a few people in the business. The operations manager at the time and Tess obviously, got a tour of the business, of the yard, and just fell instantly in love with it.
And how long have you been here now for with the Lynch Plant Hire team?
4 years now.
4 years, fantastic. So you came in thinking that you were going to be managing plants and then you're managing plant. And
here
in
I am
that
now.
4 years, a lot has actually changed as well, hasn't it? We've
Absolutely,
seen machine control from the likes of Leica Geosystems explode. We've been outside today looking at Dozer with the machine control from Leica on. We've also seen the whole industry expand through safety, the things like Safety Shield. But your job and your role, tell me a little bit about how that's grown and why you're still here, obviously 4 years later, you know, in this sort of role.
Same sort of reason for still being here is there's so much to learn at all times. 4 years later, I still feel like a newbie and it's still fresh, it's still interesting, there's still so much coming in that I'm thinking, what's that? And I can go down that route and learn about it. My role, obviously, I came in as an internal recruiter. At the time, it was just me and Tess being my manager, and it was the operators were being run as part of the hire desk at the time. So, you know, say 50 operators or whatever number we were at then. And it just grew so substantially with the huge infrastructures that Lynch have been so wonderful in being a part of, that my role slowly split apart, and we saw the need for someone to look after HS2 on its own. So the volume that we see in the summers, the last couple of years, it's sort of 250 operators on HS2 South alone. So that's London up to Buckingham. Calvert site. So that's where my role's grown. So when I first started, it was just sort of looking after the M4 project that we were on, which was actually where I first got my taste of some of the technology, because there was a lot of height and slew restrictors, obviously, because of highways. So that's where I first got my taste of that, and it was my first taste of inducted sites and big key accounts, obviously Balfour Beatty. So that's where I got my taste for it. And then I sort of, between Tess and I, we were looking after the Skanska jobs, Costain jobs when they were CSJV, now merged into SCS. On the London side of things. It just grew into such a thing, and where we were getting so busy regionally as well, the best decision we made is to split it apart, and now I work really closely with the key accounts team because I can hear the quotes going out. So if there's something coming in for earthworks, I know that I'm going to need earthworks guys and girls on site. So I start looking at all the people I've got in that sort of expertise, and then if I've got, that's gone out with ALO spec, okay, I'm going to need someone perhaps with PTS and stuff like that. So it's just learning all the lingo and all the different specs. So it's just, HS2 South became its own thing because of all the innovation and technology they're using, and it's just growing and growing. So that's what I do now.
And I think that's really great. And one of the things that's impressed me meeting you today is that you're here learning at the training centre on the equipment. And you know, everyone would have thought, well, you know, surely you're just you're in an office, you're in a desk job, you're finding these people, you're managing stuff. But Lynch doesn't think like that, you know, and you've actually been able to operate quite a few machines, and you know, that can even take you down another route in the future as well if you wanted it to.
Yeah.
Why is that important to you?
I think it's threefold. First of all, when you're dealing with operators and you are in the office, number one is credibility.
Yeah.
I want, for myself mainly, I want to be able to speak to the operators about what they're operating. Yeah. I don't think it's fair for me to expect all the operators to know about the technology and the works that they're doing, but me not, because then I have to make sure I place them in the right job, with the right team, with the right technology that they know how to use. Second of all, I come into contact with customers now I'm on site. Reputation wise, I would love to be able to converse about it, which I'm able to because of what I'm learning at the training centre and working alongside with the likes of Jez and Chris. So I am able to have those conversations on site if it comes up as well. And three, just personal fascination, to be honest. And just knowing that I'm obviously being a part of HS2 is massive for me. I mean, it's such a huge project, and in the future, when we're on that first train to Birmingham with a glass of Prosecco perhaps, I can be like, I've been a part of this. So.
Yeah, and I think that is just huge, isn't it? You can tell your family, your friends, I was part of this enormous project, which, you know, fundamentally will be needed. I believe it's a really important project, not just for what it's delivering, but for the legacy. You've talked about it there. You've said, look, all of the technologies are being used there, and you're part of that. And so the speeding up of using technologies on site, like Leica Geosystems, 3D machine control, like the safety shield system we've talked about here today, so important. And what is interesting for me is, from going to think that you're dealing with plants to dealing with plant, what would you say to people like yourself that literally wouldn't have a clue and about the plant and the construction sector? You know, falling into it seems to be what a lot of the things I talk to people. I just fell into it, I just came into it. But you're still here. Why is it such a cool place to work? And what would you say to people that just wouldn't even think about going into construction?
It's just one of those industries where there's so many ways you can go with it. So even if I've come in on the recruitment side of it, there's so much going on. I don't just feel like a recruiter. I feel like I'm in construction. I'm part of something much bigger than just my job title. It's more like a community feel. So and especially in the environment that I'm working in, so with Lynch, I came in, and if you're totally honest about it, and look, I thought I was coming here to learn plants, so I'm going to need some help here. I've got the environment around me where they just jump straight on it with me, like, what do you want to know? Like, where can we go? And you're just totally in control of your own learning and progression, which I just find really freeing. You don't get that if I was to go and be a recruiter somewhere else. You're a recruiter, that's your job. But in this industry, there's so many places you can go, so much to learn. It's fascinating, especially, and obviously with the operators, I have so many people to talk to as well. So from all walks of life, it's just no day is the same. It's so thrilling every day.
Well, it's been thrilling to meet you here at the Lynch training facility, where all those operators come through. Exactly. I wish you all the best in your career.
Thank
you.
We
certainly need lots more young people like yourself being enthusiastic about this industry and screaming about it like we're doing in this video. So I really appreciate your time today. Cheers.
No problem.